Well, good afternoon. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. I'm really glad you could join me today on this beautiful overcast day here in Pennsylvania. Well, I have behind me here my garden containers, and I wanted to share some tips and ideas on how you can direct sow cantaloupe in your garden containers. And the variety here is honey rock. So I'm really glad you could join me today. Well, anyhow, these garden containers, I don't know if you've seen my previous video on how to build indestructible raised garden beds, but I took these and I sprayed them a Kona Brown from Rust-Oleum, and these have really been great in my garden because I was able to expand my growing area, and so I'm taking this one planter here. Raised bed here. These are 23 inches in diameter, and these are the 12 inches deep. And so what I'm going to be doing is growing my honey rock cantaloupe here, and they can vine out really far. So I'm planting these on the edge of the woods, and these get full sun here. And so behind these seed packs, they always give you some helpful information here. So let me read some of the information here. It says that honey rock is a sweet summer treat. The honey rock matures to an almost round 5 to 6 inches. Heavy netting, faint ribbing, and deep salmon color with sweet flesh makes this a favorite for home gardeners. And then planting depth is 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep. And then they like full sun, and maturity is 85 days. And so, my wife and I, my family, we just love our melons here, the cantaloupes, the watermelon. We always look forward to them, and they're really easy to direct sow in your garden. And so, but they are heavy feeders, so you want to make sure you have good fertile soil. I filled these containers here with my composted leaf mulch amended with topsoil, and then I'm going to take my alfalfa pellets. If you've seen my other videos, this is basically what I use in most of my soil here. And then I'm going to just take my garden fork again and work it back and forth so that those pellets drop down into the soil at different levels. And it also makes a nice slow release fertilizer. It adds organic matter to the soil, and it also feeds the soil microbes. So it's really a win-win situation using these alfalfa pellets. I buy a 50-pound bag from a local feed store. It cost me like $20, something right around that number. And so all I'm going to do is I'd like to have at least 1 or 2 good plants here in this garden container. So I'm going to plant about 8 of these, and I always get plenty of seeds in the pack, so I always tend to overseed when I plant these. So I'm just going to set these right on top of the soil, and then I'm going to push them in with my finger. And then once these come up, I'm going to just pick like 2 good plants. I'll cut them, the other ones off with some scissors, flush with the ground. So I'm going to just take these and lay them about 1 inch apart, right above the soil here. So I have about 8 of them laid out. And then I'm going to simply just push them in with my finger, about 1 inch deep. And then before I backfill the holes, I'm going to just mark the row here. I have these red markers here. You could use sticks or whatever. And then now that it's marked, I'm simply going to just fill the holes back in. And then pat it down with my hand. Direct sowing something in the garden is really simple to do. You just want to make sure your soil's nice and loose and fertile. You want to make sure your seed has good contact with the soil, so you don't want to backfill your seeds with any clumps of dirt. And so, once you have those backfilled, then you want to just water them in real nice. And that alfalfa pellets, you know, again, that's a nice slow release fertilizer. And then I also might fertilize these once a month throughout the summer with some compost tea that I make. And then I'm going to take one of my mini greenhouses and cover these seeds with my mini greenhouse. And then put a rock on top. That way it's going to warm the soil up real nice, and it'll protect the plants as they grow up, you know, a couple inches. And then once they get a couple inches tall, I'll probably take this mini greenhouse off it. Even on a hot sunny day, I'll keep an eye on it. You might want to take it off of there so it allows some of the heat to escape. And then I'm also once these start growing, I'm going to put some wire fencing over these plants until they they get pretty big. And then I'll take the wire fencing will keep any deer I have off of them. And so, you know, we're really looking forward to having some cantaloupe. And, you know, before you know it, a couple months we'll be going and we'll be eating these cantaloupe. So let me encourage you to try direct sowing some cantaloupe in your garden if you haven't already. It's something easy to do. It's, you know, it's fun direct seeding out in the garden. It's really easy to do, and so on. And so anyhow, I just want to thank you for joining me today out here in the garden. It's always a blessing to work out in the garden. You know, you get away from the busy schedules, and you know, it's nice and peaceful, relaxing, and spending some time out here. You can get to listen to the birds, especially now that it's springtime. So anyhow, I just want to thank you for joining me today, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the section below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so you can receive future videos. So anyhow, I just want to thank you for joining me today. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.